And we are also here at a white line, of course, in order to give our viewers a good and a closer view. So we have this a very simple cover for our cameras, and we will also bring this as our today's live streaming room. It's a very simple, shabby one, but actually we put a lot of considerations when we're building this room. So our cameraman actually built this room for a full day. So this is the cover, how it looks like. So we used the tree branches as the main framework. And we also used the corn stalk actually to build up the whole walls. Let's consider as a wall. So you can see this is how we built this yesterday. So it's nearly cost us a full day to build this cover. So you may ask why we need to build this room. Actually, no matter we do live streaming or just take a live streaming, a live footage, we talk about actually look at all the cranes actually just so close to us, just within the hundreds of meters. You know, cranes are very sensitive. If they find us, we may scare them and they may fly away. So that is why we need this. And also, actually, this is a quite regular practice when we're in this kind of the national reserve or the outdoor places to take photos, pictures, or the footage of our migratory birds. So this is how it looks like from the inside of this room. And broke a little bit our wall because yesterday maybe a flock of cows went by and they may eat some our strolls yesterday. And also I would like to invite our old friends that actually we met every year. And a member, Mr. Pan Shengyu, is a member of China Wildlife Conservation Association. Actually, we know him so well because we meet up every year. So today, we too will bring you a beautiful scene of the migrant birds and how we can get along with all these birds. And of course, we will also bring you more knowledge about the migrant birds. So look at the weather today. So Zhenlai County, because this is the northeast China's Jilin Province, is quite a very north part of China, so it's quite cold, quite chill, and it's really windy. Actually, I worn as much as I can. I have the fleece and also the light down jacket, sweaters, but still, I'm so cold here. It's really freezing here. But talking about this kind of weather, then that's also quite hard for our birds, right? They cannot really stay here for a longer time. So you look at the water or the river here, actually. Really soon you will see that freezing and ice up. So this is actually a stopover point for the migrant birds searching for food and wintering grounds. So you look at actually there are different species of cranes gathering here. This is the Momoga Nature Reserve. It's also a white line. So actually depends on the weather condition. So they will decide when's the time they will fly or start their journey again. So we talk about if the weather is getting colder in the coming days, then maybe it's the time for them to fly to the southern part of China. So we talk about if we look at because the water or the river will very soon be frozen, then it's really hard for the crane or the grapes to find food. So we talk about if that there were not sufficient food available provided to the cranes or the grapes, especially water resources. then they cannot really get water, and also because they rest in waters. So if everything actually frozen, then that's not a suitable place for them. And of course, food is also one of the important points for them to stop over. They're saying that if it's too cold, then the food also cannot provide enough heat or warmth to these birds. Then they may also decide to fly to other places. So we talk about here actually is a home to oriental white storks, cranes, and also other species of migratory birds. Of course, this is a very famous or a favored stopover point for the cranes especially. We talk about the white storks. Actually, we can see the many large number of them, but it's quite endangered because the total population around the world is around 4,000, and 2,000 out of that 4,000 you may find here in Jilin Province. And this is really precious for us to get this close look for our viewers to look at these cranes and especially the oriental white storks. So look at this within our camera frame, we have a single white stork. I don't know whether it belonged to a family or just by itself. So we bring a lot of equipment with us in order to provide this goodwill for our viewers. So look at actually this is a telephoto lens. And we also see that because the crane or especially these white storks actually just near the water places. Of course, this is actually covered by the white lines because white lines actually provide the food to the stork. So we talk about white lines. Actually, it's not always flight. So it's like have a little bit of hills or the up and downs. So we talk about it's really rare to see single one here because we talk about the cranes or the white storks always stay together. So this is a really naughty one. You look at actually they are right now. This one is right now praying. You know they're so clean. So you look at they actually tidy up themselves every day. So they try to clean themselves by preening. So look at that very beautiful white color. They always think they should be really tidy. So you look at it, they have this habit of preening themselves very frequently. So our cameraman is really busy because we need to change the photo frame all the time. And so we right now got this one, and I believe, of course, we have a lot around this place. So we talk about although this is a room, but actually it's not allowed to have so many people inside. So we look at the flocks of white storks. Let's just enjoy some sad and sound of this beautiful scene here. This is the Jilin Province. This is the Zhenlai County, Northeast China's Jilin Province. And the Momoga Natural Reserve is a key stopover site and breeding place for migratory bird flying south for winter. So this is actually also a very good place to gather the large number of oriental white storks. We may also provide a really lovely shot we got yesterday. It's a really beautiful one, and we just capture a scene that a crane, or we believe is the oriental white storks, actually flying through the sunset. Alright, just now we showed our viewers a very beautiful scene like we got yesterday. Of course, it's really hard to get that scene. That's a flock of migratory birds flying across the sun. So it's actually take a really longer time for us to capture that really rare scene. So some people asking exactly the temperature here. Actually, look at I wear so many layers. And let's check the weather right now. The temperature, I can tell you. The lowest temperature is below, it's -8 degrees Celsius. So I'm wearing 2 layers of socks. And also a cotton padded shoes. So actually that's the lowest temperature, but I can tell you that the body feeling temperature is much lower than that. So talk about the flyways for these group of birds. Actually, they started from Siberia and it will finally arrived the destination at Poyang Lake of China. So here just a stopover because like they need to find a place to rest, to find more food. Of course, stopover points always so important for the migratory birds. So talk about this may stop here for around 30 to 40 days. So they need to search for food and also to breed their younger ones, and also need to teach the younger ones to find food, for hunting, for gathering with other birds. So we talk about this is so important, especially for the young generations. So Poyang Lake basically will be the final place for them for wintering. So it's a really windy day today. I really would like to show you the sound of the crane. Actually, it sounds really beautiful. So for the what kind of food provided or the white oriental storks like, we'll show you later because we bring them all here.
大家如果说有那个就是比较好奇的点哈，因为平时我们其实给大家讲解就是可能依照它的这个迁徙路线啊、停歇地点啊。
So we talk about the flyway for wintering and also the stopover point here. So this is the Zhenlai County, northeast China's Jilin Province. So this is a migratory reserve, and which is also served as a key stopover site, and a breeding place for migrant birds flying south for winter. So every year this place actually is always attract hundreds of thousands of them every year. And also this is the place quite favored by the oriental white storks. So we talk about the smaller ones that in color yellow. Actually, they are the younger ones. So it's like a golden sheer color. That's their younger ones. So we talk about the flyway actually from Siberian to Poyang Lake. It's around 5,000 kilometers. So this is the flyway for these group of birds. But we talk about the white stork, quite different from others. We talk about the route of migration. So we talk about the white crane actually is really endangered. It's extremely endangered. So it's also actually have quite a narrow route of the migration. So it's also quite the threat to their life. So basically they have that fixed flyway. So in the 1980s, it's the very first time for us to find the white crane presence in China, and in 1995, a ornithologist actually put a tracking equipment on the white crane to know exactly their flyway. And we're actually still doing a lot of research right now on these group of white cranes. So we look at actually their stopovers, their places for the activities. Actually, no big change over the previous years. So we talk about their flyway, the stopover points are really fixed. So they have really rare or the narrow or limited places for them. So they only really choose the certain places. So that also bring additional danger to the population of the white crane. We talk about right now because rightly is in extreme endangered situation. The crane is really beautiful. You look at the leather and also their hemmings, really attractive. So we right now is redouble our efforts to protect these flocks of the cranes, white cranes. So you look at the first, you know exactly how strong wind it is today. So it's like a so strong wind, they may really try to fly, but in the end, they may not really move forward.
我想说，盛夏老师，你一直都在入镜，你知道这回事吗？你一直就在这个镜头的这个角的下方。来，我们切换一下吧。我们现在先切一下全景的镜头。
So let's maybe turn to different angles to provide a different shot for our viewers.
嗯，白鹤刚才走出了镜头。我们刚才，对，所以我们时不时要挪一下。
So we will change our camera angles because this is a very famous and also loved stopover point for white cranes, and we also can see they may stay in a pair or in a family. So this is a Momoga Natural Reserve. This is a white land. And this is also a place that we can find a large number of annual migratory white cranes, one of the world's most endangered species. And also at the lower of our camera frame, hope our viewers can see that's a family. So you can see maybe 2 or 3, I believe it's 3 white cranes. So we actually have found nearly 700 white-hide crane. So you look at actually based on our observation, you look at these two actually are so beautiful, and we talk about a white-hide cranes actually always stay together, either with a family or at least in a pair.
因为平常它在站立的时候你看不到，是因为它的翅膀收起来了。它展开的时候就是这种黑色。
So the wing, actually look at it, is a black one, like the black sleeves. We talk about crane, actually always can find 3 colors. So that's a white, black, and white. So we talk about a white crane also have another nickname as the black sleeves bird. So we talk about the crane actually is very elegant. The frequency of moving their wings also very slow, so you can see clearly that a very beautiful black color.
把摄像小哥名认识了是吧？一会儿让你们认识认识今天的摄像小哥。有这个无知亦无解问，这里有猛禽袭击他们吗？这里好像基本上我没怎么见到过猛禽。
So we haven't really seen any bird of prey.
就它本身攻击力也是很强的，是吗？
对呀，它这个。
Or the predatory birds. So we talk about the cranes, look really gentle, soft, elegant, but actually they are also not really good in temper. So we talk about actually the whole height is around 150 to 160 centimeters. So actually we talk about for a lot of time, maybe the other that a bird of prey actually not really the enemy to them. Of course, cranes are not that aggressive. So white crane, of course, need to protect themselves first because actually this is the place for them to search for food. So if they do fighting, actually that consume the calories, right? So this is a place for them to really store the fat. So they do not need to really consume calories or consume fat. Because they need to have enough fight for them to keep themselves warm enough so they can fly to the southern part. So they have their own habitat or their own territory. So especially you look at the lure of our camera frame, that's the family. So it's also very important a place to train their younger ones. So if the other cranes or other birds really approach to their territory, they will also stand in the position to protect the family. And we also talk about they need to fly back to the Siberian at the beginning of May. They need to really catch in time, otherwise their territory or the place for reproduction may be taken by other birds. So we talk about really white cranes bite humans. So actually it's not really we have that opportunity so close to white cranes. And also of course we need to keep a really safe distance. So like for myself, before actually we found a white cranes in the wild environment, we need to save them, to give them more food, and sometimes they attack us because actually we are the strangers to them, so they may also in that attacking mode. And also, of course, when we put a tracker or the tracer on the body of a white crane, it also actually stay in that fighting position. And also for one human being, for us, actually, it's really hard for us to capture or catch one crane. So that you think that it maybe looks really not that large in size, but I can tell you that it's so different if you look through the camera or stay just in front of them. So with white cranes that not that heavy, it's around the 5 to 7 kilograms. Just within a few months, we talk about the little ones actually can grow as the same height as their parents. So we talk about just within 10 months. That's the after they're born, and also within the 10 weeks, they will already know how to fly.
一般影视剧里仙人骑的鹤是以这种鹤作为原型，好像一般是以这个丹顶鹤作为原型比较多，就是包括我们以前的那个看到的一些画啊和一些诗词当中。
So we talk about actually a lot of the Chinese paintings or the poems. Actually, a lot of the descriptions of the wide-crowned crane. It's not a white crane. So a lot of people actually not really know that the species of white crane.
这样的一个关系啊，还有人想，好多人想和我们的摄像小哥打个招呼，快，摄像小哥快变忙了。我刚用到东北话了，变忙了，别忙了，别忙了，交给自己吧。
像我们的镜头里，现在除了摄像小哥呀，有好多。
So look at the have many different species. We have the white hat cranes and also the two little ones. So that the two cranes in color yellow, actually they are the younger ones. So our cameraman actually really worked so hard. So we talk about this room. This cover actually is very sophisticated. So this is we talk about the really beautiful scene captured. Actually, these gentlemen actually help us to get that. Of course, we know it's really, really hard to get that really precious scene. So it's not just my credit. Actually, we need to give that the credit to the whole team. Basically, we got up really early in the morning, which means that 5 a.m. before the sun rises. So which means that 5 a.m. we should already in position with camera ready. And when the evening basically was totally dark, then that's the time for us to finish the day. So for this room actually is quite spacious, and actually for other covers actually it's a really, really small one. Actually you cannot really stand inside that cover. So actually our cameraman actually stay in that cover for the full day. So this is the wasteland. Actually, we still can see mosquitoes. And the bugs coming inside. So we talk about that behind the scenes stories. So our cameramen actually really stayed around the clock in the tent or in this kind of room. Actually bring everything inside the tent. So basically they eat. Sleep all in that tent. So basically he bring a sleeping bag with him as well. So think about the person living in this kind of a wild environment. And the temperature is really low, we talk about. But we talk about actually that's a white noise really helped me get in a good sleep. So our cameraman also really a bird lover, so he's really passionate in getting all these beautiful scene, beautiful footage for our viewers. So this is the place actually is in the Zhenlai County, northeast China's Jilin Province. It's a Momoga Natural Reserve, which is also a key stopover site and breeding place for migratory birds flying south for winter, attracting hundreds of thousands of them every year. And we talk about these places, not only find the white or the original white storks, but we also actually can see the quite a large number of annual migratory white cranes, because we know white cranes actually is one of the world's most endangered species. But right now we can see that the number we got 2017, actually the number increased to roughly 3,800. So actually, when it turned to October, the whole temperature actually dropped so fast. And right now, actually, if you can see that a river actually start to be frozen. Today is a really windy day, and this is the Momoga Wetland Reserve. So this place is actually quite close to Inner Mongolia. So we look at the white cranes, actually we not really see so many ones, but actually right now in this white land we have more than 1,100 white cranes right now gathering here in this white land reserve. So it's hoped that the white land will become much bigger to welcome more rare birds as they fly through. So these birds, actually the migrant birds, their flyway actually start from Siberian to Boyan Lake. So right now we talk about the number of flocks of migrant birds, especially right now you're looking at the white cranes. Right now the total number is around 1,100, and sometimes we can even bring that number up to 1,500. So talk about the food. I believe everyone waiting for the food, right? So that the food, a white crane loves so much.
这直播间搭的可是
Let us display all the foods for our viewers.
吃玉米吗？还真吃玉米。
Corns, yes, of course.
哎，但是它是就这么往下这么啃吗？
现在啊，他吃的大部分玉米是这个农民收割之后啊，散落在地里、田里的这个粮食，也够他吃的了。因为我们收割机啊，
So we talk about actually they not really get that the corn.
清理出来，这样呢就很多玉米粒儿，它是散落在土地上。来年秋季。
So we basically can see that the white cranes actually find that the acorns from the field. So basically they pick up all these from the ground.
然后这就是这来的玉米。
So this is the crane from Zhenlai County, and of course, for the crane, actually the majority of them actually harvest it, and the food for crane basically is the one that's dropped on the ground.
但是这个里边这个油脂啊，
那它咋吃？
And we also talk about the peanut, actually also their favorite food.
来讲，不成小菜一碟儿，就是。
So it's not quite a big deal for them to enjoy the peanut
这
inside.
个玉米来你也可以挑。
对。你看这个，其实花生的能量对它来讲要较玉米要强。
So we talk about the a big
我们这儿种植区还是没有玉米多，这样呢。
and color right will help them to really get the peanut inside.
它先吃点花生，花生现在老百姓都已经收到家里了，收不到了。还有，
它吃的东西主要是以这以一些淀粉类的东西为主。
对，我们现在呀，主要是展示几种城市，就是
它平常会吃到的粮食，就是
So basically, you look at the whole food is
就可以直接捡来吃，很方便。
still the a starchy food.
白鹤呀，
So help them to store enough fat or warmth inside their body.
它只吃这个。
So based on our previous 1-decade-long observation,
从2015年开始，我们就发现
starting from 2015,
这个
they also start to eat
是145万亩。
the crane.
全省啊，水稻种植第一大县，所以说这种那个
So this is actually rice.
对他来说也是
So we talk about the Zhenlai County, actually also the one of the largest county here in Jilin Province.
我让你看一看。
So started from 2015, we start to find that actually the white cranes and also the migratory birds also start to eat
没事，一会儿
these kind of
手势。
grains.
这个其实就是我们
对。
平常它正常它在野外的话哈，如果说是不吃粮食的话，它会吃到的一种水生植物，叫做标草，也可以说是很多年以来白鹤在默默
So we talk about the quite a normal food for white crane, or the most
来看一下，
favorite food for white crane is this aqua plant. So water plant. Water plant.
这就是白鹤啊，在这个莫姆格的主食。你看到现在呀，这样啊，它是在水里啊，是，哎，它的叶子
So this is their
朝上
the a staple food.
它这个些小豆、小球、小
对
豆豆，
对，它在水里是这么长。
So this is how it look like in water.
是一种有害的草，啊，它生长势非常强。你像水稻田里如果长得还很难清除，啊，但是在这种严
So we talk about the food right now for the white cranes. Actually, we have this kind of the water plants. This is their loved, most favorite food, and we also have seen other food like the corns, and also
它在不同的
peanut
区域吃的食物。
and rice.
你像它在繁殖期，鹤呀，在很多鹤种都是在繁殖期时候。
So we talk about actually the many species of cranes actually choose different kinds of food, basically in their different life period. We talk about if they are right now in the period of reproduction, then they may eat more meat. And we talk about if they are right now staying in the stopover points or the wintering grounds, they may consume more like these kind of the water plant.
面粉，然后它的那个饱腹感会很强，所以说吃了以后特别抗饿。但是我特别想问一个中二点的问题。
Or the other starchy food.
这些年来我一直都不是太理解。
They're really good for them to stay in the full stomach.
然后他把这个喙伸进泥里的时候，会不会
？So we talk about that really beak. They use beaks, right, to help them to get all these kind of food from water. So we talk about that they put their whole head under the water, right? And we can tell actually they're not really shocked. Basically, the not really choke when they put the whole head under water to get the water plant. So we do not need to really worry about they cannot really get the oxygen inside their body. So think about this. Actually, inside their body, they have the gas bags or the airbags in their lungs. So that kind of balloons actually. So you're not really worried about they may not really get enough oxygen. Even they put their head under the water, they still can actually get more oxygen than human being. So we talk about actually, you look at this is the water plant, and it's really, really harsh food. And their digestive capability also really strong. This kind of really harsh food, actually not a really problem for them. And sometimes also eat a smaller stones. So look at the corns, the peanuts. Actually, all these kind of food actually is really hard ones, but actually they can digest all them very well. So let's bring you more the cranes. You look at the yellow one. That's the younger generation, the little babies. And this is the white land. So basically, they can find food, water resources from the white land. So this is the stopover points for the migratory birds and especially the white cranes. White cranes actually is one of the most endangered species around the world. And right now, as we speak, we have around 1,100 to 1,500 white cranes gathering here. And this is the Momogo Natural Reserve in Jilin Province, in north part of China. And for the stopover point, actually the white cranes and other migratory birds always to search for food and to rest and also to train the younger ones. So we talk about the white cranes. They reproduce twice per year, so they lay eggs. So for each reproduction time, actually we only sometimes got one younger birds survived. So which means the rate of survival of a white crane is extremely low. So basically, the place for the reproduction, so people asking where exactly the place for them to lay eggs, actually is in Siberia. Siberia basically is their place for reproduction. So basically, we look at the white cranes always stay in a family setting. So look at this is one family. So it's really rare to be seen about the white crane's reproduction. So we have the one photographer and also work with the ornithologist go to the place of reproduction to get that really rare photos of the white crane's reproduction. Because right now we are doing everything to protect our white cranes because they are the most endangered species around the world. So we talk about searching for food, for resting, for reproduction, for wintering grounds. Actually, they have really higher standards for that habitats. So they always find that a place that they feel safe. So they fly all the way from Boyan Lake back to Siberia for reproduction. So we talk about it always not find that the most safe places for them to do that reproduction. So we talk about that the Momogo has so many these kind of the white storks or the white cranes and also a significant number of other crane species. Also the evidence of an appealing environment. So we talk about that flyway, we talk about the whole the flying journey actually is big challenge for crane. We talk about crane, they cannot live without water. So basically throughout the whole journey, they face so many challenges of life and death. Really challenging journey for them. But we always consider that journey or talk about migration, always considered as a miracle. So we talk about how exactly they know where to fly, how really can really find that direction of Boyan Lake. So basically we don't know exactly yet how they can really tell the direction. So we not really have that result from the ornithologists or other scientists. But we right now talk about that maybe just in their DNA. They know exactly where is the way of Boyan Lake or where is the place of their Siberian. So we talk about that's the magic or the miracle of migration. maybe that they saw that once. So we talk about like the little ones, they fly with their parents once, so they may bring that the lakes along the journey in their memories. As we mentioned, that the flyway, the stopover points for the white cranes actually are really limited. So maybe it's easier for them to remember the whole route. But one thing for sure is that they never lost their direction. So they never get lost. So we talk about they actually stop over in Momogo every year. They fly over basically 2,000 meters above the ground. We talk about actually they fly above the clouds. So how they know? Because like we know clouds basically block the ground, right? So they maybe fly lower to see where they are, or exactly how they really tell where they are flying over. So we talk about actually through the whole migration journey, they're not always flying nonstop. So especially overnight, they will find some places with water to stay over. But we talk about the place for stop or for stay over one night. It's not really the place as the Momogo. This is the stopover point. Basically, they will stay here for 2 to 3 months. But we talk about that they always find. Think about this. They may find a hotel with water to stay overnight. So they not always fly 24/7. So basically, when they stop overnight, they know exactly where they are. Because we know that flying actually is really energy consumption. So they will not really to consume a lot of calories because it's a really long journey for them. So normally they fly 2,000 to 2,700 meters every time, and they will rest a little bit. So we talk about the feather. Actually, we always can find a different kind of feather here. And this is another plant, and you always can find this kind of plant in the wetland. That is also a valuable food for the cranes and also other migratory birds. And the seed of the plant actually the food for the white cranes. So this is a feather from the cranes, and we talk about the really tiny, they maybe really want to have really beautiful look, so they actually use their beak to plane. And we talk about in order to protect and stay warm, they actually use that this kind of the plumes, not to look good, but also to keep warm. So we talk about this one, actually the primary plumes. So that primary, basically the position at really at the far side to their bodies. So we talk about they not really want to keep themselves clean. They also do the cleaning to make sure that they all connected in order to block the wind and also keep them body warm.
会看到，就是从那个视频当中会看到他们有的时候在自己的这个尾部或者是屁股的部分哈，去啄。其实它那里面就是有一些油脂分泌的线，那么它在那里把油脂啄下来之后，再来往身上去涂抹，这样就防水。
So they also get that kind of we talk about the oils.
说像在上来的时候，不是像骆驼
Or let's think about this to really bring that the grease
到水里，把脑袋也埋
to
到水里
glue that the feather together.
光亮的，感觉不到。
So that's also the part of the job when they
看这个，
grain.
这组羽毛是白枕鹤的。
So we talk about when they plume. So basically, they need to first of all to tidy up the feather, and also to make sure they stay in a very dense manner, so that can protect themselves warm and also block the wind.
它的样子啊，
So we look at these kind of the
在我们这儿
plume actually in different colors.
有时候跟这个白头鹤一样。
We always can find the plume
世界总
of the
红面鹤就是这个白枕鹤属于
white storks, white cranes,
国家2级保护鸟类，我们觉得它应该是1级的。白头鹤的数量都比较多，
and also the white-eyed crane.
难得一见。再找一找啊，其他的鸟类。啊，这是天鹅的羽毛。
And this is from swan.
稀疏一点。
不是最粗壮的，但是从那个羽毛的形状来讲，还有
So look at the shape
对，
and the color is,
还有它这个角落，啊，它羽毛长的走向，
and this is milk white.
哪里不一样？
你看这个鹤啊，有点像横长的啊，宽。
So for the crane, actually their leather is more horizontal, but look at these from the
说他们飞行
swan actually is more in a vertical direction.
它这个羽毛啊，就是保证它飞行的保暖。你像我们拿起来之后，
So we talk about the function of the feather,
非常轻，
basically to help them to keep warm
松的，
and also fly, right?
所以说它重量轻，强度大。
So it's really lightweight,
别说风吹
but you look at it really strong
它也
in resistance.
断，搞成这样。
Not easy to bend.
看有时候啊，看鹤，它这个梳理羽毛的时候，就把这个嘴呀、打到
So
这
they
个
use
连到
the
这个
break
毛尖儿上，然后弄一
to
个弯
get
儿，
the
哎，很漂亮，那个样子其实
top of the feather and to really bring them in a good direction.
固定动作，然后在我们的眼中感受到了
For planing, actually, it's kind of the way.
状态。
再看一下，这是大雁的，哎，大雁的
So there's their natural and a daily job to keep themselves warm and also can fly longer.
尖端，这是颜色深的，
And this is from the goose.
然后下面颜色浅一点，因为它身上
So it's quite a dark color at the top and also the white color at the bottom.
是在野外是最好来隐蔽的。
对呀、它跟那个周围的植物啊，
So we talk about the color actually quite same as the water plant.
就和周围是一样的。
你看大雁的羽毛相对多，
So you look at the goose, their the
对，
plume actually is quite short.
天鹅就是胖，所以说它你看翅膀啊也不
天鹅还算胖啊。
长，啊，天鹅胖，是个胖。
天鹅也
So we talk about swan. Actually, we always consider, of course, they're elegant, but they still we consider the overweight.
哎呀，叫的声音啊，你看刚才过去的一对雁，听声音
对，我也听着感觉像大鹅。
大鹅感觉。这些羽毛啊，都是这莫姆格保护区的工作人员，
And we talk about the DA feathers actually is collected by the people working inside this natural reserve. And we also look at this is the fluff we got from the swan and also the crane. And we talk about we always can find this kind of a fluff either at the back or their belly places. So we talk about down jacket. Actually, we always find this kind of fluffs from goose. So this is really can keep you warm and also very soft touching feel. So this is for the white crane. So we talk about for the planing. So when they do planing, you look at actually they bring the feathers back. So it's like the zipper. So it's like a zipper is open. So when you do the planing, basically you bring the zipper back. So that's basically when they are doing planes. So that's what happened. So we talk about white cranes or other migratory birds. They use a lot of time. Basically for them, this is their daily activities. And also this really a great job for them to do every day. So that is why they can really stay warm outside. So Siberia, they fly back in spring. It's the polar region, but still that plume play a key role. For reproduction purpose, they need to fly back to the polar region as early as possible to get their territory. Because still we talk about every March, April, still at the polar region is extremely cold and also the water is frozen. So based on our research, we come up to a conclusion to see the proportion of the younger generations and also the number of the flocks of white cranes. So last year, actually, we found a total number that's also the record high, totaling 4,500. So right now we are approaching to 5,000. Still, the reproduction rate, the rate of survival is really low for white cranes. So the reproduction for white cranes actually twice per year, and the rate of survival is as low as 1. So basically, two parents only can get one baby bird survived. So that is why we talk about that still in an endangered situation for the white crane. So for the stopover points, also very important exercise and training for the young generations. They need to learn how to fly, how to hunt, how to search for food, and also how to get away from their natural enemies. And we talk about that a white crane actually can get really good with other species of migratory birds, like the agouts or the swans, the grapes. So it's a really harmonious scene of coexisting among different species of migratory birds. So this is a stopover place, which not really means this is their final destination. So this is basically the place for them to rest, to get more food. So they prepare themselves well, and they will start their journey again, heading to Poyang Lake. So Momogu Natural Reserve is also one of the key stopover point for white cranes, which means 80% of the total population of white crane will stop here. And we also talk about the gray cranes, also take Momogu Natural Reserve as their stopover. And this year we also found around 2,000 gray cranes stopping here. So it's really, really good news and really encouraging news for us is that we can see that increasing number every year we have seen here in Momogu Natural Reserve in terms of migratory birds, especially the increasing number of the white cranes, white-head cranes, gray cranes. And this year we also have seen 700 white-head cranes. Before just a single-digit number, and right now we can see 700. So they also stop a little bit in Shandong Province and then to Anhui Province and finally they arrived in Poyang Lake. So we talk about that the white cranes, gray cranes. Right now we talk about we can find 9 species of cranes in China, and in Momogu 6 out of 9 that you can find here. And we talk about that the sandhill crane is not belong to that 6th species, but actually you can consider as the guest. They also stop over here in Momogu Reserve. But it's not really for wintering here in Momogu. Let's show our viewers the footage we got in the previous days. So you look at this is of course a live streaming, but let me also share with you the really rare, beautiful scene we got in the previous days. So just now we show our viewers the really beautiful scene, a beautiful scene. That's really rare to be seen. Of course, we also would like to use our cameras, use our live footage to get people to know more about our migrant birds. I hope that through these kind of a live streaming and also that a different scene we got that really like people to show more love to our migrant birds and also to pitch in to protect our migrant birds. So we talk about when we see the birds or the wildlife, please behave, right? To keep the distance, do not disturb their life. That's the best way we can do to protect our migrant birds, our wildlife. So that through our today's live streaming, we hope that the viewers can know more about the white cranes, our migrant birds, and also to increase the awareness of protecting our migrant birds. And that's also bring to the end of our live streaming for today. And thank you for watching. And I also hope to see you again in Momoge at the beginning of next year. Bye for now.